let's talk about the Twilight Zone. I always assumed, in some parallel universe I'd find something else to be angry about. But spring 2020, those universes collided. And the angry sound tech has now become the angry InstaCart dude. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, but don't worry. I am not starting a new YouTube channel or changing the premise of this one. My heart and soul is still the angry sound tech. But what this video is really about is navigating your business through a global pandemic. And first of all, I do not have the answers. This is not... There is a semi, backing up into me. What are you doing, buddy? This video is not filled with all of the answers. What I'm trying to do with this video is kind of start a dialogue down in the comments section. I don't got all the answers. I may not have any answers. I'm just going to tell you what I've been doing. And, I'd like to hear the same from you guys. What have you been doing? How have you been coping with essentially, the world being shut down and having no business? So, my first lost gig was on St. Patrick's Day. That Tuesday, I was supposed to do our regular karaoke contract at the Shooting Star Casino. And that was the first gig that was canceled. I think that was March 16th. It's been over 2 months now, and my business has not made a dime. I've sold a couple pieces of equipment, because it's spring cleaning time, so I've sold a couple of things I've been wanting to get rid of, not selling stuff to survive, but just lightening up the inventory a little bit. But, 2 months without making any money. Now, granted, there's PPP loans, there's pandemic unemployment assistance. We all got $1,200 from the federal government. There's free money flowing around, and, you got to do the best you can to get your hands on what you can to help you survive. But, my summer's shot to shit. It is. I didn't have a whole lot booked by the time the shutdown happened. Most of what I had booked is now canceled. I haven't been booking anything new because of the uncertainty. Nobody really wants to book anything, or, they want to be penciled in and have you do all the planning stuff, but they want to do it with no money down because, who knows, it might get canceled. Me, I'm I don't want to do a bunch of free work. I'm thinking about having a temporary planning charge if people want to write up a contract, so that if they do cancel, at least I get paid a little bit for my office work. But anyways, how do you cope with a global pandemic? How do you get by owning a business that makes no money? How do you do it? At some point, you've got to make some money. There's got to be a point where business turns around. And I know, the summer just is not looking good. In my area, things are starting to not look good for homecoming season with high schools. Some of my live sound contracts for this summer, I thought maybe would have been back into effect by now because they're outdoor shows. They're not. I thought maybe my casino contract would be back in now. It's not. I'm still making no money and no prospects of any money. And so I started doing InstaCart almost right away. I applied for, first DoorDash right away, but there was a waiting list. Instacart, there wasn't a waiting list. So I got on with Instacart, and I've been doing it now almost since the shutdown happened. Maybe late March. It took a little while for me to get my starter kit and stuff. And it definitely helps. A lot of people are grocery shopping online. If you really hammer it out every day, 7 days a week, you can make $1,500 a week doing it. I don't try to make that much. I made like $14.80 one week, but I got burnt out pretty fast, so I scaled back a little bit. I take a day off here and there, and I try to target the good paying batches if I can. But I make enough money to pay my home bills, pay my office bills, keep everything running. Obviously, I'm not doing any real new ad campaigns or anything. I've tried to scale back stuff as much as I possibly can to conserve funds, because the first month when things kicked in and I wasn't really making a whole lot of money with InstaCart, I hadn't really started InstaCart yet. I burned through half of my cash stockpile, like my business's emergency fund in 1 month. So that was a little iffy, because nobody, I planned for maybe a downturn in business, but never just like shut the faucet off, you're making no money. So that was a tough one, but Instacart's really helped out. I've been able to build my reserve fund back up to where I had it, pre-shutdown. So I'm sitting good now, but if there's a downturn in Instacart where I'm really not making much money, I'll start to have trouble paying the business bills if it does not kick back in. And I'm starting to get to the point, and maybe I'm a little premature on this, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I have an office, my lease is up in September. Do I renew my lease? I need to give 60 days notice, so that's like, I don't know the exact day in July I'd have to put it in, but that's actually not that far out. Do I renew my lease for another year? It's 1 year at a time. Do I pull all my gear out of the, get rid of my office, get rid of my shop, throw everything in a storage unit and hunker down for like a year and pop back up, a year down the road? Like, I'm at like this crossroads of like what to do. Do we just continue to wait, and say things are going to get back to normal, everything will be fine in a couple months? What if it's not fine in a couple months? Like, how long? I'm not saying give up on your business. Like, I'm not saying I want to give up on my business, but like right now, nothing's really changed. I'm obviously not doing any gigs, and I'm not doing any new marketing or really spending any cash that I don't have to, but I'm still paying for existing advertising, web hosting, my office, electricity, internet. All my base business expenses are still there, and I'm still funding all of that. At what point, how long do I go not making money to where I say, I need to get rid of my shop, I need to scale back, I need to hunker down and wait for the world to get back to normal. Like, I could keep doing Instacart for a while, but I would like if I have to do, like, if business doesn't come back this fall, winter's slow, if next summer is iffy as well, like, there's got to be a point where you start to say to yourself, I own a business that makes no money. Like, something needs to change. And what is that point? Am I getting too ahead of myself here in my planning? I'm always one where I like to, plan for the worst and hope for the best. Like, I want business to kick in the fall. I'd hate to give up my office and then all of a sudden, life's back to normal, and I'm like, well, gee, I sure wish I had my office. Now I gotta go find a new one. But I also don't want to lock myself into, another 12 months of, essentially another 12 grand over the next 12 months just to have my office sit there and go there every day, feeling like I'm doing something. I don't know. I'm curious. I'd like to start a little dialogue about this. Like, if you do this full-time, and I mean even part-time, guys, but if you have a full-time job and you're doing it part-time out of your house, it's pretty easy to just be like, well, I've got no gigs. But if you do it full-time, like, is there a point where you're like, shit, I gotta get a job? or I got to start a different business. I got to branch out. I got to do something else. Maybe figure out how to take my business and, I don't know, do something else with it. Like, I had thought about, Antari makes those disinfecting fog machines with disinfecting fog fluid. I thought about buying some of those and starting a disinfecting service for restaurants and stuff. I haven't done it. Maybe that's what I should be doing. Maybe that's what I should have done 2 months ago. Hit it right at the beginning. I don't know. At what point do you look at your business and reevaluate things? How many months do you go without making money? Or do we just, stay the course and wait for things to get back to normal? I mean, I've already got alternate income, in InstaCart, which maintains my flexibility if I need to be at the office. I take batches when I want. And I like the flexibility with it. And to be honest, even when my business kicks back in, like, I might just keep doing Instacart for some spending money. If I feel like going out or going on a trip, I'll probably keep doing batches here and there. Obviously not to the consistency I do them now, but I think I'll keep doing it for the foreseeable future, just for some extra spending cash. Because, let's be honest, since I don't have as many bar contracts anymore as I used to, even when business gets back, I mostly do events on the weekends, office hours during the week. Half the time I'm only in the office 4 hours a day. So I probably could kick myself in the ass and do a little bit of other work. But for those out in YouTube land, like, how have you been coping? How have you been navigating your way through a global shutdown? Like, have you started doing Instacart, DoorDash, Postmates? What's that other one? Roadie? I have a Roadie account too. Although there's not much Roadie stuff around here. But, like, what are you doing? Did you switch over to different gig stuff? Did you go out and get just a temporary job somewhere? Are you working 9 to 5 somewhere? Are you just running off of loan money or running off a business reserve fund? Have you taken the time to, like, redo your website, redo your packages, redo your marketing? Have you been tearing it up in the office and getting stuff done? I mean, I'm going to be honest, like, when this started, that's the thought I had in my head. I was like, man, I'm going to update my website, redo my packages, redo my marketing, work on my SEO. Like, man, when I come out of this, it's going to be like, I just had like a couple of months of just straight office stuff. My business is going to be like this fine-tuned machine, just ready to hit it out of the gate really hard. But once the shutdown happened, like, when I lost that gig, I like shut down my office. I turned my heat off, shut all the lights off, walked out, went home. And I thought everybody was kind of in, like, global lockdown. Like, I didn't really realize, like, half of my friends still had their regular jobs. I thought everybody didn't go to work because there was, I didn't leave my condo for days. And I got pretty depressed. I really didn't feel like doing work. And, it's tough for me when there's no prospect for making money. It's hard to be like, man, I'm just going to hammer away at my business that currently makes no money, and there's no point in time for sure when I know I'll make money. So I have not redone my website. I have not fine-tuned my marketing, my SEO. Like, I haven't done any of that. I redesigned a business, or like a bar marketing postcard to send out, because I thought, well, I should have something ready to send out at, like, if bars are one of the first things to open back up, like, I should try to get some bar gigs. That was one of my first thoughts. So I did work on that a little bit, but as far as anything else, I really haven't done anything. And, maybe I should be doing more. Maybe I should be at the office more. Well, actually, I have been at the office a lot more. Like, since I scaled back a little bit in the Instacart, I've been working the office quite a bit more. starting to get things back on track. I was supposed to have, there's still business to be had. I shouldn't say there is none. Like, I know people that have been doing outdoor movies. I was supposed to do sound for a graduation, high school graduation that was, typically inside, but got moved outside so that people could spread out a little bit more. Well, of course, it gets canceled, moved back inside for like immediate family only because of rain. Goddamn rain. And, not anything to do with COVID-19. The goddamn rain. And, and that was like $800. It really would have been nice to have $800 coming into the business. But, that got canceled. Sunday, I'm doing some subcontracting sound tech work for another company's graduation that got moved outside. That'll be interesting because apparently I'm mixing through speakers and through an FM transmitter. Everybody's just pulling in with their cars and watching the graduation that way. The stage will be there, and then there's going to be some like big screens to watch it on. So that's going to be interesting, but that's not going to pay that well. In June, I think I've got one. It was going to be a $1,500 wedding dance, and now it's turned into a 30-person backyard party, which is a do-it-yourself DJ rental for $200. So, I mean, there's business to be had. It's not like I'm saying there's nothing out there and it is just straight dead right now. Things are coming back, but they're not coming back at a level that could even, pay for my shop. So, how long are they going to be like this? Like, how long are we going to limp along to where, like, a full-time entertainment business isn't a full-time entertainment business? How long is that going to go? And at what point does a person begin to reevaluate the business? That's the question. Well, that's my question. That's what I've been pondering lately. But also, I'm curious what everybody else is doing. Probably repeating myself now, but anyways, from the angry Instacart dude, formerly the angry sound tech. Hopefully one day I will be angry again at musicians. Or really angry again at tour managers. Or the touring sound tech that goes along. Yeah, there's all kinds of people to be angry at. Anyways, let me know what your plan is. What are you doing during this shutdown? Are things starting to come back for you? Are you seeing prospects? Or are you just hammering away at the office? What's your thoughts, guys? Leave it down in the comments section. Till next time, have a good day.